Can you explain a little bit more of the issue for Shopify? So when you hear me say an issue, I'm very speculative. When I invest something for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm looking at trends, speculative things like where are things moving. We don't know what the future is going to hold. We could look at value of a stock and it could change through time. I just try to get ahead of the curve, right? I try to get ahead of things and look at the value of the stock versus what the sales are, what the implied growth of that sector is based on trends and populations and movements. There's a lot of things that could happen, so you always have to babysit positions, but you're looking at trends. You're looking at macro trends to look at what sector to invest in. And then when you look at the sector, you either grab the ETF, or if you want to go into an initial company, then you have to look at the numbers. Is the company, trading much higher than it's worth? Is their EPS going up at a certain time where you're getting a valuation of increase over time? Is their ROIC positive or negative? What are they doing with it? How much debt do they have? Is it good debt, bad debt? How much do they borrow that debt at? What are their plans to pay it off? Do they have investors? Are they offering shares? Are they buying back shares? There's so many things that go into it. So it's really difficult to look at it and say, what's the issue there? So with Shopify, we got into Shopify back at sub $30. I think my average though was like 31 though, maybe, but all the way down to like 26. So the reason that we got into Shopify at the time was Shopify partnered originally with Meta last year or 2 years ago, but then they partnered with TikTok exclusively, right? To be the marketplace for sales. TikTok said, holy shit, we have a lot of people that are watching our stuff, and they started seeing the conversion rate. Okay, they started seeing the conversion rate. And they started realizing, and some numbers came out, that 40% of Zoomers, right, younger millennials and Zoomers, Gen Z people, purchase something because they saw it on TikTok, whether it was one of their favorite people they follow pushing it, advertising it, whether it was something in a marketplace, whether it was something there. They purchased something because they saw it on TikTok. 40% of people, they didn't say all their purchases, but they made a purchase in the past year because of something they saw on TikTok. So if we know that a younger generation who was broke, but we're going to put all these little pieces together. Gen Z, okay? Their parents are older millennials / Gen X. Okay? These are the people that have money, right? In some case. They have some money. They have much more money than younger millennials. Sorry, guys. So they're buying shit with their parents' money. Great. We also know that Gen Z realizes, or at least thinks, they're never going to be able to afford a house. So we have doom buying. All right? Well, no point in saving money. I'm never going to be able to afford a house anyways. Might as well enjoy my life while I can. A lot of spending going on. Okay? 1 in 5 Gen Zers have admitted to spending all of their free time that they're on their phone watching TikTok or shorts on YouTube. We know that 40% of respondents admitted that they purchased something that they saw on TikTok. TikTok is growing. Short form content is consumed at a higher rate than in history. That's why YouTube went so hard on their shorts. Yeah, that's just admitted. So when Shopify announced that they were going to be the exclusive marketplace for TikTok, that's fucking massive. You got a platform that's growing leaps and bounds, that's gaining users at an exponential rate, and the time spent on the platform is at an exponential rate. The algorithm is improving to keep you hooked in. And then they opened up TikTok Marketplace, where it's literally just people selling. I never, ever spend time on TikTok. I don't know if my algorithm's fucked up because I don't use it enough or what, but every time I go on there to check my stats or check my videos, and I go to the homepage, it's just that I don't like. It doesn't make any sense. There's only one guy that I like to watch his videos. He's some gay comedian guy who has a farm. He's like, "Good morning, y'all. Let's do some farm chores." And he just cusses at his chickens. It's kind of funny. But other than that, I don't spend any time on the app. But I did spend a few minutes on it. And guess what? I don't know if it's because that my phone is listening to me. Why does it matter that he's gay? See, you're trying to get me into a corner, but you fucked with the wrong son of a bitch. Why does it matter? Because the idea that a guy who is very effeminate and gay owning a farm and actually doing the chores is not a societal norm. So it makes it even more interesting to see him do it, which is just a side gig to the fact that he's fucking hilarious. And it doesn't matter that he's gay, but it just makes it even that much better. Okay, moving on. Back to what I was saying. I don't know if it's listening to me or what, but it's always showing me people selling stuff. It's just people doing stuff with products, and there's a link to it, right? And so what did I see? I saw a guy boxing on a machine that lights up different lights that you have to hit. So you watch gay men play with cocks? Well, I mean, technically, yeah, if you want to go that way. He's a guy in a farm with chickens, that's all. Why do you have to make it so weird? I'll link you guys his channel. He's actually hilarious. All right, moving on. So it would light up, and you would have to hit it, right? And it helps you with your hand speed, your coordination, and your punching. And I was watching the guy do it for a little while, and I was like, that's actually really cool. I could use that for my training. And it's only $19.99. I clicked the little button. I even clicked the little shop now thing because it said sale $19.99. So I clicked it. And then I was like, wait a second. If I want to buy this to actually use it, I need to get a good quality one. And for $20, that's not good quality. So I went online to see what they're actually going for. And the good versions of them are like $59.99. So I didn't purchase it. But that's how easy it was. Something that I thought was super cool, watching somebody utilize it, click a link that's right there with a discount code, and you can easily purchase it, right? Well, who is the beneficiary there? Obviously TikTok and their marketplace, but Shopify. And so Shopify did this partnership, and that's where I was like, okay, we're crunching the numbers, we're looking at this. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if this is going to fail, if the US government is going to ban TikTok, what's going to happen, and that's part of the investment, like the risk involved. But we looked at that and we said, okay, this is an opportunity. And since then, we were lucky enough to be correct, and it has absolutely, their marketplace has gone insane. They're actually opening up a new marketplace. They announced today they're going to expand their marketplace even more for shipping and everything because they want to take on Amazon or whatever because of the amount of users, right? Before, you had to see something that was being advertised on TV or on a YouTube ad or whatever, and then you had to go off of that and either go to a link somewhere else or go onto Amazon or to look for the item. Now they're pushing the algorithm to have people basically QVC for the Zoomers. Okay, I know you probably don't know what QVC is for most of you guys, but QVC for Zoomers, click, discount, send it right away. Shopify takes care of that. So they're only making it better for them. Shopify works for merchants all over the world. They're not just tied into TikTok. They make money, most of their money elsewhere, but this is a huge opportunity for them. But with TikTok talking about upping their marketplace, this is still owned by Tencent. That is a Chinese company. China does not give up control. They do not allow autonomy. Now, China did do something where they allowed capitalism to come into their country, and then they ended up seeing the country lifted out of a lot of different things. That's a whole other whiteboard about China post Great Leap Forward, shutting themselves off, saying, okay, we're going to get in on this global marketplace. Let's open up our coastal cities. There are only a couple of them. And then it blew up. And then all the people that were in poverty from the middle of the nation moved to the cities. The cities rapidly advanced, and then they were like beacons, and it was a huge thing, right? But even though the government decided to open up the economy, because I told you guys, as far as forms of economy in today's world, you can only have a form of capitalism. You can't have any other forms, or your country falls apart and becomes desolate or gets taken over. And so they opened up their economy for the first time to that, and then they had their massive expansion and their growth. But they always keep a bit of autonomy. Okay, you didn't know Tencent owned TikTok? Oh yeah, Tencent owns all the biggest apps in the world. Shein. Well, they don't technically own China. We'll just say that it's all under the umbrella of the party. So they're going to want to have control. So the question is do they start moving the marketplace to a Chinese marketplace, or do they allow the split to take place and use Shopify to continue to be utilized for the Western nations? Because they know as long as Shopify is the marketplace, the governments are less likely to crack down and try to get rid of them. Kind of like the U.S. Congress right now has been blocking Shein, or Shine, however you want to pronounce it, from going public in the U.S. because they're saying it's a sleeper agent for China and yada, 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 yada. So if they keep Shopify, it allows them to basically continue to operate without as much oversight, scrutiny, or potentially banning, and then the rest of the world or the Eastern world using their own marketplaces. So that's what I'm curious. So when I look at these numbers here, right? You can look up these numbers. Ad revenues alone topped $9.9 billion in 2022. This is from September. Integrate TikTok Shop. The second tie-up, because obviously we played the first one. Shopify inked a deal with Amazon for sellers to use Prime, which is another big one. Retail e-commerce sales on Shopify grew 7.9% this year. Here you go. They're retail e-commerce sites, right? 2021, obviously with post-COVID, we got in 2022. 100 billion, 108 billion, expectations are 117 to 129, and we're looking at that increase going up over here. All right, well, let's just move into some more articles. We've never seen Uranus is in such glory until now. And what pisses me off is that we were watching it and oh, I just turned my computer